Now, before we add more provisioners, we need to create an SSH key pair that we can use to log into the instance once we've launched it. So at this moment in time, we're still in the process of creating the image that we're going to then use to launch an EC2 instance in the cloud. Now, once that instance is launched with our custom image that we've built with Packer, we want to then SSH into that. Now, the way we need to do that is we need to use the SSH public key and private key. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create an SSH key pair. We're going to generate that. And then what we're going to do is later on, we're going to add the public key as part of the build process to the image that we're customizing. So that later on, when we launch the EC2 instance with our image, we can then log into, or we can SSH into our instance using the public key that we've already baked into the image. So this is going to make sense later on, but for now, what we're going to do is we're going to create the SSH key. So let's go to the terminal, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to paste in the command to generate the SSH key, and then I'm going to update the email part here. So if you generated the SSH key before, we're basically using the SSH keygen utility, and we're basically going to specify an email, and we're going to call it TF Packer. That's all that's doing here. So I'm just going to put my email in here. And then all we need to do is hit enter. So just before we return, so what we're saying here is we're going to put it in the current directory. So that's very important to know. So I'm just going to click enter. So as for the passphrase, I'm just going to leave that as empty, and then click enter again. So that's now created an SSH key pair. So if I just clear the screen here, and then if I do LSA, and what you'll see here is we've got the TF Packer, so that's a private key, and we've got the TF Packer public key. And what we're going to do as part of the build process in the next step is to add this public key into the image itself. And we're going to use the file provisioner and the shell to move it to the right place. So now that we've generated this key, we can then continue with our Packer template creation process.